Hello there, and welcome to This Week in Horror with me, Casey. Now, I know Nightmare Maven used to do these horror news segments for Morbidly Beautiful, but she has since come out with some time restraints and just won't be able to do them anymore, so I'm going to take over for her. She was great, they were fantastic, very informative, so hopefully I can take the reins. Who am I? Well, if you do follow Morbidly Beautiful, you will know that this is the voice of the Horror Shots podcast. Podcast has been going on for a couple of years now, give or take. And I thought I'd branch out to do some video stuff. So here is This Week in Horror with me, Casey, for Morbidly Beautiful. We're going to start this episode off with some updated news on Sid Haig. Now, you probably heard in the past week or so, he's fallen ill. He had an accident. Some bad stuff happened to the dude. If you don't know who Sid Haig is, what are you doing on this website? He is most famously known for playing Captain Spaulding in the Devil's Rejects series. Well, a few weeks ago, or about 10 days ago now, he had an accident, and his wife updated everybody via his own Instagram saying that he had taken a spill, he's in the ICU, things aren't looking super great. It's kind of scary when you get news like that. You may not realize it, but Sid Haig is in his 80s now, so it's always scary when somebody of that age kind of falls into the ICU. Could go either way. But thankfully, his wife did release an update saying that he is doing much better, and it goes as such. I quote, "Hello everyone. I know it's taken a while, but here's the quick and dirty. Sid took a nasty spill early last week and went to the ER to make sure everything was okay. It was, but they kept him for a bit for observation. Late last Thursday night, he vomited in his sleep. Because he was asleep, the vomit went into his lungs. Fortunately, since they were monitoring him, the alarm went off and they were able to get the vomit out and an air tube in with suction. They suctioned his lungs for a couple of days and everything came out, so they were able to remove the air tube/suction. He's been breathing well for several days now, but they still have to monitor for infection to be safe, since the bacteria in the human gut can set up an infection in the lungs when this sort of thing happens. They are also giving him an IV and antibiotics to protect him. Other reports have him being pretty much his old stubborn self. His wife also did another update a little bit before this saying that he's wanting to eat again, he's got an appetite, he's feeling a lot better, and he's getting back to his old self. So that is very, very good. We don't want anything bad to happen to our favorite horror icons or anybody, really. But that's what happened with Sid, and he is getting better every day, which is fantastic. And hopefully next week, during this update, I'll be able to tell you that he's gone home. As of this recording, I don't think he has. In terms of TV and releases coming out this week, we have American Horror Story 1984. If you're not sure what American Horror Story is, go watch the first 8 seasons. It's a really, really good show, especially for one that has the limitations of a simple cable network. It's not an HBO show, so it doesn't have the over-the-top gore, violence, sexuality, whatever you want to call it, but it does do what it can with the limitations it has, and it's a very good storytelling show. 1984 takes place in, you guessed it, 1984, and it is very much based on the slasher genre. So each season does seem to have a theme. We've had carnivals, we've had freak shows, we've had haunted houses. Now it's time to bring in the 1980s slasher craze. It looks really good. It stars Emma Roberts, and Billy Lord from previous seasons did say it is the goriest season yet. So you do have that to look forward to in the lead up to our favorite month ever, which is October. So that should take us into the Halloween season as well. So if you have an itch that needs to be scratched, that should do it for you. Furthermore, Marianne was dropped on Netflix on Friday the 13th. Coincidence? Probably not. I guess you could call it a nice little gift to those of us who appreciate Friday the 13th and what it means and what it stands for in the horror realm. Now, Marianne takes place in France. It is a French show, but it does have English subtitles. So it's very similar to Mantis that came out a little while ago, or even Dark, which was another Netflix show that was, I believe, German. So it does follow the same sort of lines of the kind of European horror movement, I guess you could call it, which is incredibly popular and it's very, very good storytelling. If you can sit through the subtitles or you can kind of live with the overdubs of the English language, then definitely watch it. From what I hear, it is the scariest show Netflix has ever put out, and that includes The Haunting of Hill House. What I can tell you about it is that it does feature a novelist who writes about her nightmares, from what I understand, and those nightmares often include a witch, and now her stories are starting to come true. Nothing more terrifying than nightmares becoming reality, especially when it becomes a witch. Because witches have all sorts of powers, as we know. So that does pretty much bring us to the end of that. But what does Morbidly Beautiful have to offer us this week? Well, we have a wonderful, wonderful interview with Art the Clown. That's right, David Howard Thornton, Art the Clown, did sit down with one of our writers to discuss a whole myriad of topics. So definitely go check that interview out. It's fantastic. And that piece is called Silence Behind the Violence, which is a very apt name if you think about it, given who Art the Clown is. Also, if podcasts are your thing, and I hope they are, and hope you do listen to the Horror Shots podcast, gotta plug myself there a little bit. They mostly podcast at night, featuring chaos and carnage. Take a look at a classic, an oldie this week in Burnt Offerings. They're a fun group to listen to. Go listen to this podcast. It's a whole lot of fun. The chemistry the two hosts have are unbelievable. You can tell that they're friends and that they really play off each other quite well. Lastly, we do have a new editor. Doesn't mean Stephanie is leaving. Our editor-in-chief is still here to stay, but we do have a helping hand in Jack. Jack has been a writer for the website for a very long time now, and it's a very sensible move to have him move up into the editor role. So congratulations to Jack for stepping up. It's always good to get new, fresh perspectives in higher positions. As I mentioned, Jack is a very experienced writer and has been in the horror journalism game for a very long time now. So I have nothing but high hopes and praise for this new appointment. And everything we did talk about today will be down in the description below. There'll be links to websites, there'll be links to articles, and links to all of our stuff here at Morbidly Beautiful. So be sure to check it out. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe on this video as well. It really helps out the channel and it helps out the website, getting more people involved with the process. So, until next week,